Hi, my name is Ali Duran with IBM Business Analytics Worldwide team. Today I'm going to talk about an issue that we recently came across with a recent Windows security update that came out and how to resolve that issue. So the update number is KB407450. If you go to your programs and features and installed updates and then sort it by either install date, ascending or descending, you can see actually the update here. It's called Security Update for Microsoft Windows KB407450. Now the issue only happens if you also have the IIS services running on your Planning Analytics server that you're using. Okay, so it happens in a few ways. The first scenario that I have seen is if you already have a running Workspace server. When you try to log into that server using your browser, you get Workspace services currently not available, blue screen, and you cannot access Planning Analytics Workspace. The second scenario I'm seeing is you're upgrading your Workspace server from either a previous version of Workspace to a new one, let's say 30, and you get a PAGateway communication error, or you're installing it for the first time, and when you select update services like I did here, here's the update services section at the bottom of my screen you're seeing on the Planning Analytics Workspace administration tool. Your administration tool abruptly quits, and then on your PowerShell window you get an execution failed with exit code 1 error. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to resolve this issue. So I'm going to close the administration tool first of all. There are a few things to check. The first thing I usually check is to make sure that my services, there's no issues with the services, so I run my services. One way to do it is if you do /scripts and then type PA, which is going to start all your PA services, Planning Analytics Workspace services, and hit enter. You're going to see that there's going to be services that will come up. They will say up to date, up to date. Looks like BSS initialization is also starting or restarted, but I'm getting an error here. It says PAGateway error. PAGateway cannot start service. PAGateway failed to create endpoint PAGateway on network NAT. HNS failed with error, unspecified error. Okay, now when you see this error, it means that there is something going on your server, that Planning Analytics Gateway service cannot bind to your port, HTTP port 80. Okay, so that's the first thing that I would check. Now, in order to check this, there's a few ways that you can try, but the easiest way to look at it is to run Resource Manager by typing resmon.exe in PowerShell, and this will bring you a graphical user interface. Okay, when you're in this graphical user interface, what you need to select is the network tab. Within the network tab, what you're looking for is the listening ports section. So I'm going to minimize the processes with network activity and maximize the listening ports. Now, if I look at it here on my listening ports, there are two port 80 listeners here, IPv4 and IPv6. These are unspecified addresses, and it says used by system. Now, PID is what I'm usually looking for in these scenarios, and if you see PID 4, that usually means the Internet Information Services. Now, there could be multiple other things, but that will be my first suspect. Now, to verify, you can run another command in PowerShell. I'm going to go back to my PowerShell script, and I'm going to type net stop HTTP. Now this is going to give me which actual services are using that port 80. And these are Windows Remote Management and World Wide Web Publishing Service, as well as the Print Spooler. So now I know which services are running. These, I don't need to stop these because I want to show you where they are. I'm going to hit no. and I will go down here to Windows Administration, Administrative Tools, and under Internet Information Services, we'll see which server is actually using that HTTP port 80. Now if I expand my server, or the web server, and then find the website that is actually running here, I can see where that website is running. It looks like, yes, it's running on port 80, and if I click on this, you're going to notice that this is that default website that comes with every installation of Windows servers. It's called Internet Information Services / page. Okay, so I know what is causing my issue right now. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that there's no conflict for Planning Analytics Workspace, so that we can bind our gateway to port 80. Now in order to do that, I'm going to stop this service, default website, and what I want to do is I want to bind it to a different port. So I'm right now using it's 80, and I don't want it to use 80. I'm going to just go ahead and double click on it, or you can hit edit, change it to 81, say OK, and close it. Okay, and you can either start just the website or the server. It's all up to you. If you want to feel safe, stop your web server, start it one time, and then go down to here and then start your default website. Now, if I go back to my resource monitor that I had earlier opened, you're going to see that, they are now grayed out, those 280 ports, and now I have two new ports in here that are appearing at 81. Okay, so keep that in mind. This might require you to restart your service one more time, or your server one more time. But in most cases, I've seen that you usually don't need to. You can just wait for a couple seconds, and your port 80s that were bind will quickly disappear. As you can see here, now those two ports, those 80 ports that were being utilized, now are gone. Okay. We can now close our resource monitor and continue to do our installation one more time. Now, we were running a call, as you remember. I can also close the IIS Manager. We were running the script, PAW. I'm going to run it one more time. Script PA, and then see if this time it's going to start all my services. Now, as you can see, those error messages that we were seeing earlier for the PAGateway is now gone. Now it says PAGateway is done, so it's starting the PAGateway service. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that it's running, so I'm going to go ahead and start my browser. Now within your browser, the IP address that you have on your local machine is where your TM1 server is running. So in order to find it, you can go in here and then type ipconfig. You can see that my server is running at 169.45.98.110. I'm going to just copy that one and paste it over here. This should give me my Planning Analytics Workspace login UI. From the login UI, I'm using the infamous admin Apple username password. Now my Planning Analytics Workspace services are ready to be used. This is how you would be fixing this issue. Again, this issue can be fixed in multiple ways, and this is one of the ways that you can fix it. Now, the other way you can fix this is you can actually define a different port for Planning Analytics Workspace to run on. And I will cover that in a different video later on. Thank you very much for watching.